Welcome to Whimsy Woven Stories, where imagination takes flight and every tale is a journey into wonder.
Liam, you're back. Mia greeted her husband with joy in the hallway. Great, I just finished everything. Come in, I've just poured you the mushroom soup you love so much, so sit down at the table. She kissed him on the cheek and added, I spent a lot of time today finding the right mushrooms at the market. Liam furrowed his brows. He was tired of his wife's endless chatter about shopping and cooking. It seemed to him that nothing else mattered to Mia. She used to take care of the kids, but their son had grown up and moved away from maternal influence, and their daughter had moved in with her boyfriend, only calling when she needed money. What are you waiting for? Mia asked, returning to the hallway. The soup is already on the table, or it will get cold. Mia, I have to leave, Liam said regretfully, looking at his wife. Why? She didn't understand. You just got back. What happened at work? I'm leaving for good, Liam said irritably. Mia continued to look at him in bewilderment. Don't you understand yet? Liam grabbed his suitcase. I'm leaving for another woman, someone I love, he said. Mia shuddered. What about me? She was shocked. Sometimes that's how life goes, Liam replied. We raised our children together, but now I feel like it's time for us to move on. Liam began packing his things. Were you happy with me? Mia asked, biting her lip to hold back tears. I'm grateful for our years together, Liam replied. But I feel trapped. I need something new. Mia realized that Liam had made up his mind. What about our children, relatives, friends? She asked. The kids are adults now, Liam said, closing the suitcase. And we don't have many relatives and friends. They'll understand. What about me? Mia repeated anxiously, looking at her husband, who had stopped in the doorway. You also have the opportunity to start a new life, just without me, Liam said, and the front door closed behind him as Mia heard him quickly descending the stairs. Peeking out the window, she saw her husband getting into a beautiful car that quickly drove away from the yard. Mia walked into the room, seeing clothes scattered on the floor, and sat down in the chair. Normally she would start cleaning right away, but now she turned away indifferently. What did I do wrong? She wondered. I tried to be a good wife, kept the house clean and cozy, cooked new dishes every day. But I hardly had any time for myself, she sighed. Getting up, Mia approached the mirror, studying the reflection of a middle-aged woman with a slightly fuller figure. She ran her hand over her face. Look at these wrinkles. How did I not notice them before? Running her hand through her hair, she continued, and so many gray hairs on my head. Why didn't I notice them before? She examined herself from all angles. The bottom button on my robe is missing. I didn't even notice. And it's all stained. How many times did I tell myself to wear an apron when cooking, she muttered. Although, who sees me at home? We have to dress decently at work, so I have outfits. But they all look the same. I don't know how to choose something for myself. I always bought everything for my son and daughter. And I tried to please Liam with new shirts or ties. And he parades around in these shirts in front of someone else, she sighed. Walking into the kitchen, Mia saw the cooled soup on the table. Pouring it out, she smashed the plate in the sink with such force that it broke in half. That's how my life split in two, Mia shook her head. Now I'm absolutely nobody's concern. She lay down on the couch, put her head on the pillow, and cried softly, drifting into an involuntary sleep. In the morning, a bright sunbeam woke her up. Stretching, Mia at first couldn't remember why she was lying on the couch, but then she recalled the previous evening and felt sadness again. Despite this, it was time for her to get ready for work. Nora, the head accountant, was strict, and Mia decided it was best not to be late. What happened to you? Ines whispered, looking at Mia's pale face. You look so pale. Let's talk about it later, Mia waved off Ines when she noticed Nora's gaze on them during lunch break. Ines nodded silently and returned to typing on the keyboard, while Mia stared at the screen, her thoughts somewhere far away. She still couldn't believe that Liam had actually left her. Now my life has lost its meaning, Mia muttered to herself. Even the children live their own lives, didn't even come to congratulate me on my birthday, just limited to formal phrases over the phone. That's all that's left. Mia didn't notice tears streaming down her cheeks. She quickly wiped them away, looking around in fear. It seems like no one noticed, she sighed in relief, trying to get back to her report. Are you going to have lunch? She heard Ines' voice. You're so engrossed in your work that you don't even keep track of time. Yes, Mia replied, coming out of her thoughts. I'll just grab my bag and we'll go to the cafe. Mia and Ines sat silently across from each other, eating. So what happened? Ines asked, pushing her empty plate away. You don't even want to eat today. Liam left me, Mia's eyes filled with tears again. He left? Ines frowned. Why? Did he leave you? Mia hung her head, her hands trembling. Ines pulled out some tissues from her bag and handed them to Mia to wipe her tears. It's better if people don't suspect anything, Ines added. What should we do? Mia lifted her tear-filled eyes to Ines. I don't want to go back home, my life feels meaningless. Was there any meaning before? Ines frowned. Or do you think fulfilling Liam's whims was always the purpose of your life? You cared so much about him that you forgot about yourself, Ines said angrily. You only talked about Liam. What did you buy for him? What are you cooking for dinner? Liam loves fish. Liam loves thin pancakes, Ines teased Mia. And you? What do you love? Ines asked, looking her straight in the eyes. I'm not spoiled, Mia smiled sadly. For me, it's important that my husband and kids are happy. You're not thinking about yourself again, Ines remarked, tapping her hand on the table. By the way, when was the last time you took a vacation? Mia pondered. I don't even remember. Oddly enough, that vacation seemed unnecessary to me. Liam goes on vacation alone, saying it's not customary for friends and wives to join. But in reality, Mia's eyes filled with tears again. All right, fine, Ines said decisively. You're going to see our madam, they referred to the head accountant, and demand a vacation starting tomorrow. What? Mia panicked, waving her hands. Firstly, I'm scared to go to her. Secondly, she definitely won't let me go. And thirdly, I haven't even finished my report. How long do you need to finish this stupid report? Ines said sternly. Well, Mia thought. A day, approximately. Or even less, maybe half a day, if I work late. I think I can manage. Mia frowned. Ines got up from the table. So you're going to the head accountant and demanding your vacation? I can't demand anything, Mia lowered her gaze. Besides, I always enter her office trembling. She rarely calls me. I won't be able to handle it. Ines opened the door, and they walked out onto the street. Now your new life begins, where you have to be brave and active. And why do I suddenly need a vacation at work? Mia exclaimed. At least you'll get your mind off the sad thoughts, Ines replied confidently. And then you'll deal with yourself and your thoughts. Rearrange the furniture in the apartment, get rid of unnecessary things, Ines hinted at her husband's belongings. Go to the hairdresser. And one more thing, Ines said mysteriously. I know something that will help you gain confidence and get rid of sadness and sorrow. What exactly? Mia asked with interest. I'll tell you this evening, they have already entered the office where their accounting department was located. Let's write a leave request and then go sign it with Nora. Mia took a piece of paper and began writing carefully. Kindly grant me annual leave. May I come in? Mia knocked and cautiously peeked into the office of the head accountant. Nora was sitting at the desk signing documents. What do you need? She asked sternly, looking at Mia through her glasses. I have a request, Mia nervously muttered, handing over the paper. What kind of request? Nora took off her glasses and placed them on the table. Are you resigning? No, Mia replied fearfully. I want to go on leave. Where? The head accountant exclaimed in surprise. Have you lost your mind? How can you go on leave during the reporting period? Reports, I've almost finished mine, Mia said softly. I just need to double-check some numbers. But everything will be ready by the evening. Why do you suddenly need leave? Nora continued to glare at Mia angrily. Have your children grown up, or have you and your husband decided at the last minute to go somewhere together? Mia's face contorted in pain, tears streaming down her cheeks. My husband left me yesterday. He said he fell in love with another woman, she whispered. Suddenly, Nora's expression changed. She walked over to Mia and pointed to a chair nearby. I understand that you're going through a difficult time, she said sadly. My husband also left me a few years ago. I understand what you're going through. Mia looked at her boss. Yes, don't be surprised, Nora nodded her head. Do you remember the movie Rich Also Cry? I'm not rich, of course, but even people in managerial positions have their personal problems. Did your husband come back? Mia sighed. Yes, he came back, Nora replied. He apologized, said he made a mistake. I forgave him, but not completely. We live together, but in reality, she sighed again, I'm still alone. She walked over to the window. Mia was silent. She didn't expect such a conversation with the head accountant. I remember when my husband left me, Nora continued. I almost stopped sleeping and eating. Only the children supported me. But then I realized that my husband leaving wasn't so bad. I had free time. I started reading and even went on a sea voyage. So, Mia, I understand what you're going through. But everything will pass, and you will be happy again. Nora returned to her desk, signed Mia's leave request, and said, "Send it to the accounting department. They will process your leave and pay your vacation pay. I hope you won't disappoint me with the report." "Thank you so much, Nora," Mia said happily. "I won't disappoint you, I promise." "So, madam, have you signed the request?" Ines asked. "Yes, I have," Mia nodded. "I'm sorry, but I need to finish the report. Don't wait for me today after work, I'll have to stay late." "Okay, I'll call you in the evening when I get home," Ines said, sighing. Mia felt lost. She tried calling her children but was disappointed. "Hello," her daughter answered irritably. "Mom, this is urgent, I don't have time." She heard noise and voices in the background. "I feel very lonely," Mia said plaintively. "Maybe Dad will cheer you up?" her daughter suggested. "Dad left me for another woman," Mia said. "Where did he go?" Her daughter didn't understand. "Your dad left me for another woman. He said he was bored with me. And he did the right thing," the girl replied indifferently. "Nothing interests you except cooking and ironing. Even when Mike and I lived with you, you only asked the same questions. Did you eat? Did you finish your homework? Mom, you've never been interested in what we're passionate about, who we're friends with, or what we dream about. But I wanted to share my secrets with you, to ask you things, and just sit in the kitchen and talk about the boy I'm in love with." Mia cried and didn't want to intrude into their lives. "So, you missed my warmth too?" "Don't be offended, Mom," Alice pleaded, "but Dad didn't see much warmth from you either. Yes, you took care of him, but a man wants to see a woman in a woman, not just an attachment to a stove and a washing machine. That's why he left, probably for someone who values herself and knows how to use it. What should I do now?" Mia cried even louder. "I'm not used to living for myself. Everything in this life needs to be learned," the daughter philosophized. "It's not too late for you to start over, Mom. And anyway, you're the most beautiful woman to me. You just need to change your attitude toward yourself, get a new haircut, buy a bright dress, and maybe even fall in love." "Fall in love at my age," Mia laughed, "it's impossible. If you really want to, everything is possible in this life, Mom. I'll come to you on the weekend, and we'll talk about everything, okay? And don't worry about Dad. He'll come back, I'm sure of it." "When did you become so grown up and smart?" Mia couldn't even call a psychologist, her daughter didn't have time to finish her sentence. Laughing, she said goodbye to her mother and ended the call. Mia barely placed the phone on the bedside table when it rang again after a minute. Ines, she saw her friend's number on the display. "Well, how are you?" Ines cautiously asked. "I was just talking," replied Mia. "Ines, for the first time in my life, we talk like adults. Of course, I felt a little offended by what she said about me, but maybe she's right. I just didn't notice much while trying to live for the family. It turns out that my children needed more than just tasty food and cleanliness in the apartment. They needed something more in terms of emotional communication. Probably Liam didn't get that. That's what pulled him away," admitted Mia. "Oh, finally, you're beginning to see," her friend rejoiced. "Alice has grown very smart. You just didn't notice it, you always treated her like a little girl. And you still haven't let go of your son. And Mike, by the way, has also grown up. It's great that he decided to live independently, separate from you. Anyway, Mia, you have wonderful children, and you can be proud of them. And I'm proud of you," Mia sobbed. "I just need some time to realize that they have already grown up. Although I don't want to let them go from under my maternal wing," she confessed. "Listen, I almost forgot," Ines exclaimed. "On Saturday at 3, I'll come for you, and we'll go somewhere together. No, I won't tell you where we're going yet, you might not agree. I hope you haven't scared anything criminal. Calm down, Mia, nothing terrible. I hope you'll like it," Ines assured her. After agreeing to meet on the weekend, Mia once again placed the phone on the bedside table and went to the kitchen. Wow, so many events have happened in the last few days, Mia thought, adjusting the curtain at the window. Nora turned out to be a warm-hearted person, and we always thought of her as a miser. I had an open conversation with my daughter. Ines is inviting somewhere for the weekend. Liam left. Mia realized she was about to cry and quickly tried to pull herself together. Maybe I should take a look at the woman he traded me for. Mia immediately got scared of her thought. No, it's not worth it. In the morning, Mia woke up and looked at the alarm clock, quickly jumping out of bed. She had overslept. She started to panic, rushing to get ready for work. Only when she was putting on her shoes in the hallway did she slap herself on the forehead and laugh. I'm on vacation. How could I forget? Mia changed back into her casual clothes and walked through the rooms, trying to figure out what to do. She opened the wardrobe and saw that her husband hadn't taken all his clothes, leaving behind a dark blue suit, several shirts, and some personal items on the shelf. She stood in front of the closet, looking at his clothes. She couldn't bring herself to take these things out of the closet and put them somewhere else. After some thought, Mia moved the hangers with the men's clothing further away and was surprised to find that her own wardrobe consisted of only one fancy dress that she wore for all occasions, several blouses, a couple of skirts, and a summer dress that she was hesitant to wear because of the low neckline. After surveying the bedroom, Mia decided to rearrange it. Their marital bed consisted of two separate beds connected to each other. With her husband, they slept on their own sides, under different blankets. Now Mia decided to separate these beds, placing them on opposite sides of the room. It was difficult, of course, but she managed to do it, and tired from the physical effort, she went to the kitchen to treat herself to a cup of coffee and make a small cheese sandwich. Mia sat at the table and suddenly caught herself thinking that she had never eaten so calmly before. In the morning, she woke up earlier than everyone else, quickly washed up, and hurried to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. The children ate and went to school, then to college. Liam leisurely drank his morning coffee, reading newspapers, and went to work. Mia had to hurry to clear the table, wash the dishes, and rush to work. Sometimes she didn't have time to eat anything in the morning. She had dinner later than everyone else. Her children and husband sat at the table, and Mia bustled around them, serving food on plates and pouring tea. And only when they dispersed to their rooms did Mia sit down at the table and eat quickly because she still had to clean up the kitchen, iron the laundry, and mop the floors. She went to bed late, trying not to disturb her husband, who was already asleep, and it continued day after day, year after year. And now she sat in the cozy kitchen, slowly drinking coffee and contemplating what else could be changed in the apartment. Maybe I should change the curtains in the bedroom, she thought aloud. Liam never liked light curtains, he preferred the room to be dim. But I love it when sunlight enters the room, it warms my soul. After changing the curtains, Mia hung up paintings on the walls that had been collecting dust in the closet for a long time because Liam didn't like anything hanging on the walls. Now Mia stood in the middle of the room and didn't recognize it. She had finally done everything in the room just as she had long dreamed of. She didn't change anything in the former children's room. She hoped that the children would sometimes come to visit her and stay overnight. But in the large room, or as she called it, the living room, Mia also changed the curtains, removed the floor lamp that she never liked, but that Liam liked to use when reading newspapers while sitting in his armchair. She tidied up the bookcase and replaced a huge carpet on the floor with a small rug near the sofa. Regarding the carpet, Mia even tried to argue with Liam because she was the one who had to clean it with considerable effort, but her husband said that the carpet created a special coziness in the room, and he wasn't going to give it up. After tidying up in the bathroom, Mia lay down on the bed and immediately fell asleep, sleeping through until morning without waking up once during the night. In the morning, Ines called her and reminded her that she would come for Mia, as they had agreed a few days ago. "Where are you taking me?" Mia asked anxiously, barely keeping up with her friend. "Wait, you'll find out everything soon," Ines confidently led her friend down the street. "Here we are," she said, looking at the sign. Mia looked at Ines in bewilderment. "Eastern Dance Studio," she read. "Where have you brought me? Why did you stop?" Ines grabbed her friend's hand. "Come on, they're waiting for us there." "I won't go anywhere," Mia objected. "I'm not in the mood for dancing right now." "Mia," Ines said sadly, "but I've already arranged it. I can't let the person down. We'll just take a look, and if you don't like it, we'll leave immediately." "Maybe we shouldn't go right now," Mia hesitated, stepping back. "Come on, look at me, what kind of dancer am I?" Ines clapped her hands on her sides. "Let's go," she said angrily. "It's uncomfortable to be late." Following Ines, Mia entered the large hall, where mirrors lined the walls. "Hello," said a mature woman in a luxurious Eastern costume, a scarf tied around her hips with coins jingling with every movement. "My name is Amira. I'm pleased to welcome you to our studio." Mia looked excitedly at the Eastern beauty. "Please change into comfortable clothes and join our group," she gestured to women of different ages, who eagerly awaited the start of the class. "Why did you make me wear sports pants and a t-shirt?" Mia whispered to her friend. "I thought we were going on a picnic. I feel awkward standing in this outfit next to other women dressed in loose trousers, skirts, and pretty tops." "It's just for the first class," Ines reassured her. "Then we'll find the right attire for you, maybe even make costumes prettier than those worn by these dancers." "Do you think I'll come here again?" Mia whispered anxiously. "I think one class will be enough for me." Girls, Amira clapped her hands. "Let's finish the conversation. We'll start our class now. Newbies can stand in the last row and repeat the movements we've already learned. So, let's begin, announced Amira as beautiful Eastern music started playing, and everyone started following Amira's movements, gracefully swaying their bodies. At first, Mia felt embarrassed, thinking everyone was watching her, but seeing that the women were attentively observing Amira, she relaxed a bit and started moving her hips to the music. "So, did you like it?" asked Hines as they walked out onto the street. "I don't know," Mia shrugged uncertainly. "It's still unfamiliar to me." "I hope you'll come here next Tuesday," her friend asked cautiously, because it's hard to tell if you liked it or not after just one try. "And you used to do belly dancing, right?" Mia asked her. "I've watched you a bit, you're really good at it." "Yes, when the kids were younger, I used to leave them with their grandmother and go to those classes," Hines nodded. "I was having some issues with my husband back then. We were growing apart, and someone suggested to me that belly dancing could boost attractiveness in the eyes of the opposite sex. Did it help you?" Mia inquired. "Though, why am I asking? Your fiancé literally adores you. I don't understand why I need this. Liam has already left me. So there's no one left to seduce. It's primarily for you, so you can finally feel like a woman, exciting and desired, not just a plain Jane who can stop a charging horse and enter a burning house," Hines explained. "Will you go with me to these classes?" "I'm a bit scared to go alone." "I'd love to," Hines replied. "Lately, I've become so lazy, and the couch has become my best friend." On Tuesday, Mia performed the movements with more confidence, following Amira's instructions. After just a second class, Mia's posture improved, her back straightened, her movements became softer, and a sense of femininity emerged. Now she looked forward to the next class eagerly and was already browsing fabric in the store to sew herself a beautiful costume. When Mia went to work, her colleagues didn't recognize her right away. "Mia, is that you?" Emma, the payroll accountant, asked in surprise. "You've changed so much." Mia had indeed changed. She had visited a hair salon where they dyed her hair and gave her a fashionable haircut. She bought new outfits, not the dull gray ones she was used to, but brighter and trendier ones. "Your vacation has done wonders for you," Nora remarked, noticing the changes in Mia's appearance. "You've become more beautiful and even younger. You should be proud of yourself." "Thank you," Mia looked directly at her boss, not averting her eyes as she used to. "I've realized that I can't give all of myself to others, even to my own family. I need to leave something for myself." "And what helped you to reconsider your life in such a short time?" the chief accountant asked, surprised. "You won't believe it, dancing," Mia said. "Yes, not just any dancing, but belly dancing. At first, I thought I wouldn't succeed, but now I'm eagerly awaiting the classes. I even sewed myself a blue costume that surprisingly complements my eyes." "Maybe I should try it too," Nora asked hesitantly. "Lately, nothing makes me happy, and I've become a grumpy old lady, as you call it, madam." But Mia started to defend herself. "All right," Nora waved her hand. "I understand. To be honest, I'm not happy with myself when I have to vent my anger and dissatisfaction on my subordinates." Mia enjoyed attending the dance classes. She made new acquaintances there, and often after the classes, she and her new friends would go to a nearby cafe where they talked, shared stories about their lives, or simply exchanged interesting news. It was as if a new life had begun for her, rich and exciting. Besides dancing, Mia went to the theater, visited various exhibitions, and even joined the library. "Why didn't I have time for this before?" she wondered. There's so much interesting in the world. She had become more beautiful, with a sparkle in her eyes, and she noticed that men paid attention to her. Yet, she didn't need anyone. She was enjoying what was happening to her lately. Her children, especially her daughter, started visiting her more often. Now, Mia and Alice would often sit in the kitchen and talk. "Mom, you've changed so much," the girl admired. "Before, you only focused on feeding me and hardly asked about anything else. But now, I can tell you about my problems, knowing that you'll give me the advice I need." "It's surprising even to myself," Mia replied, bustling between the washing machine and the iron, trying to do everything at once. She hadn't even thought about the fact that there was another, more interesting life. One day, as Mia was returning home, she noticed that the lights were on in her apartment. Alice must have come, the mother rejoiced and hurried into the apartment. "I'm home," she called out as she entered the hallway. But to her immense surprise, her husband Liam came out of the room. "Why are you coming home so late?" he asked sternly. "I've been waiting for you for 3 hours. What are you doing here?" In turn, she asked, ignoring his question, "Did you take the remaining stuff secretly while I wasn't home? You think you can stay?" "I didn't think about anything," her husband grumbled. I just came to see how you're doing here. Perfectly, Mia exclaimed. I've really started to live. Before, you never talked to me like this. Liam didn't recognize his wife. Before him stood a woman just like the one he once fell in love with. Have you met someone? It suddenly occurred to him. Yes, Mia nodded. I have. There's someone I really like. Will you feed me something? Liam asked, walking into the kitchen. Honestly, I've missed your cooking. I'm sorry, Mia shrugged. I've stopped being a cook and spending all day in the kitchen. I can offer you only tea and sandwiches. Well, sandwiches will do, he agreed. Mia placed a cutting board, a knife, bread from the bread box, sausage, and cheese from the fridge on the table in front of Liam. I'll pour some water in the kettle, Mia said. What's happened to you? Liam asked, puzzled, pushing away the products. You always took care of me yourself. I don't understand what's going on with you. Mia turned to her husband. Nothing unusual has happened to me. Before, you saw me only as the mother of your children, a cook, and a housekeeper. You forgot that I'm a woman. You haven't given me flowers for years and said it's a waste of money. You always gave me another pot or pan for my birthday. Didn't you like my gifts? Liam lowered his eyes. I said that so as not to offend you. Mia poured tea into cups. By the way, if you're making sandwiches, make a couple for me too. I'm hungry too. Liam mechanically took the knife and started slicing the bread. Then they drank tea, talked, reminiscing about mutual friends and youth, but avoiding discussing their family life. You know, Liam said, standing near the front door, I've realized that we probably never talked so heartily with each other. We've lived together for many years, raised a son and a daughter, but we didn't have time to talk. Mia shrugged but didn't respond to her husband. All right, I'll go, he snapped the lock. Can I come see you again? Sure, Mia replied simply. Just call me in advance. I'm not always home during the day or in the evening. Where are you? Liam began, but then waved his hand. Anyway, what right do I have to ask you about it? He lowered his head and quickly stepped out the door. Mia returned to the kitchen and approached the window. She saw her husband slowly walking in the courtyard, his shoulders drooping. She felt sorry for him. She wanted to shout after him to come back, but she restrained herself. The past couldn't be undone. A few days later, when she was returning home, she saw Liam sitting on a bench near the entrance, and next to him lay a beautiful bouquet of flowers. These are for you, he handed the bouquet to Mia. I hope you like them. Thank you. They're very beautiful, Mia smelled the roses. The scent is simply divine. Maybe we'll take a walk, Liam suggested. The weather is wonderful. They walked along the alley and talked again. Mia told him that Alice might soon get married, her young man was ready to propose, but she was still thinking about whether to accept. Mike was also dating a girl and even promised his mother that he would introduce them soon. But they never call me, Liam sighed. When I call my son or daughter, they always refer to urgent matters and don't want to talk to me further. If you want, I'll talk to them, Mia offered. You're still their father after all. No need, Liam shook his head. I know I've made a big mistake, and I'll take responsibility for it. Mia didn't inquire what he meant. Besides, they returned to her entrance. I have to go, she took out her keys from her purse. Thanks again for the flowers. I really appreciate it. Maybe next time we'll go somewhere. Goodbye, Mia, Liam said. At home, Mia put the flowers in a vase and looked at them, lost in thought. Would Liam want to come back? On the one hand, she was, of course, glad. After all, they had lived together for many years, raised a son and a daughter. But on the other hand, she didn't want to see herself again in the role of a model wife and to put on an apron, standing by the stove. Now she wanted to enjoy life, discover something new, travel. Well, let's see how it goes, she thought philosophically. For now, let him take care of me. Let's remember our youth next weekend. Liam did invite Mia to a restaurant after some thought, and she didn't refuse his offer. Approaching the wardrobe, she opened it, pondering what to wear. Now her wardrobe looked different, it was dominated by brighter clothes than Mia used to wear before. A skirt and a blouse looked more businesslike. As she rummaged through the hangers, suddenly, at the very end of the wardrobe, she saw a gray-blue dress that she just had to buy. The saleswoman from the department where Mia tried on clothes wouldn't stop talking about how good it looked on her and how it complimented her eyes, looking at Mia from all sides. I'm not used to wearing such things, Mia hesitated, spinning in front of the mirror. Although the dress is really good. You won't regret it if you buy it, Olivia, her name was written on her badge, insisted. Mia looked at the price and sighed, then hung the dress back on the hanger. Olivia, noticing this, hurried to cheer Mia up. Today, we have a 20% discount on the entire range, so this purchase will be even more profitable for you," she said. Mia hesitated for a moment, then took the dress and carried it to the cash register. At home, she thought again, why did I buy it? Although, if Alice does agree to get married, I'll wear it to the wedding. But for now, let it hang and wait for its time. And apparently, that time came much sooner. They had agreed with Liam to meet at the restaurant, and when she entered, he didn't even recognize her at first. "You never cease to amaze me lately," he said, admiringly handing her the flowers. "This dress suits you so well." "Now I will always look like this," Mia flirtatiously replied, accepting the bouquet. "Have you already placed the order?" Liam handed her the menu. "I didn't know what you would want." After browsing the menu, Mia ordered herself a salad, a fish dish, and a juice. Liam also made his choice, ordering an additional bottle of wine. The attentive waiter poured wine into their glasses. "I want to drink this wine to the beautiful woman sitting across from me," Liam said. "You have always been a good housewife, a caring wife, and mother. I, unfortunately, realized this much later, but I think it's not too late for us." "What do you mean?" Mia asked, surprised, but before she could get an answer, the waiter approached and served their ordered dishes. "Remember how we met?" Liam asked, finishing his salad. "Our meeting is still vivid in my memory." "Liam," Mia frowned, "I think you didn't invite me here for that, to dwell on memories." "Yes, you're right," Liam sighed. "I wanted to talk to you about something completely different." He took a glass and took another sip of wine. "A little more wine." "I understand that I am very guilty before you, but still, I hope that you will forgive me someday. You know, only when you lose someone do you begin to understand how precious they are to you. It's like I've lost something important in my life. After all, so much connected us, everything you did for me, I took for granted and didn't appreciate. I wanted to somehow diversify my life, make it brighter. I was searching for something better, not realizing that I already had it. I didn't pay attention to you, forgot to say words of love and gratitude, and even flowers." Liam nodded towards the bouquet on the table. "I didn't give you any, thinking, why do you need them when you're already my wife?" Mia looked at her husband, waiting for him to continue. "For the past few months, I've been living alone and missing you, our son, our daughter, the comfort of home, everything that I so easily destroyed." Mia's heart tightened at seeing her husband looking so lonely and lost. "I want to come back home," Liam said, looking into his wife's eyes. "I promise that such a thing will never happen again in my life." He paused, waiting for her response. "And I suspected that you would come back," she calmly replied. "That's why I didn't rush with the divorce. You see, Liam, the Mia you used to know is no longer there. You've noticed that I've changed. If you come back, no one will take care of you like before. I've developed new interests and hobbies, and being a typical housewife is not what I want anymore. So, if you still want to come back, you'll have to accept me as I've become recently. Think about whether you want this or not, Liam." "Mia, I agree to everything," he covered her hand with his own. "I'll try to earn your forgiveness and regain your trust." "It's your decision," the woman shrugged, "just to live. You'll have a separate room, the former children's room. And then, we'll see how things go." The next day, when Mia returned home, she saw a suitcase and bags in the hallway. The kitchen smelled deliciously of food. "Mia, you're here," Liam emerged from the kitchen, wiping his hands on his apron. "Sit down at the table, I've just finished cooking. I made solyanka, though it didn't turn out as tasty as when you cook it, but I think you'll like it." Mia looked at her husband and smiled. "Sometimes you have to lose everything you have to get everything you dream of." Thank you for being with us and listening until the end.